3 years, Schlarb-Wolf Productions has been traveling the world in search of the best running trails. In 2013, we explored the high country and refugios of the Italian Dolomites. Last year, we ran around the windswept mountains of Patagonia, and this year's destination was the South Island of New Zealand. In a span of 2 weeks, we explored the entire island and found the geographic diversity that makes New Zealand a trail runner's paradise.
I'm Grant Guise and I'm living in Wanaka in the South Island of New Zealand. I mean, it's probably really cliche, like the most epic, amazing place to run is that place that you haven't been yet, I guess, because you always want to keep exploring, and that's the great thing about Wanaka. There's a lot to do that I have not done, whether it's running on the beach or running up a peak or buffed out river trails, rugged no trail, it's all, within hours or, maybe a day's drive, you've got it. So, yeah, it's pretty sweet. Pretty lucky. But as far as trail running in New Zealand goes, it's, as far as the popularity of it, it's growing massively. Like you just see it races are selling out, and participation and people are getting into it, and even crossing into like gear and what's available to New Zealanders now in New Zealand. That's all really growing. The whole industry is growing. It's cool. It's an exciting time for sure. Yeah.
I'm Anna Frost and we're in Dunedin. This is my hometown, and I'm very proud to be a Dunedin person and pure-bred New Zealander.
Let's pretend the grass is the sea and the pathway's the land, and we'll sail as far as we can. Fight pirates for treasure in our make-believe land. I'll make the tent, you hold Marjorie's hand. You load the catapult and I'll be the band. You play guitar and I'll sing in the sun. Just don't drop the pear on yourself. Please don't drop the pear on yourself. fly away. This magic rock will keep the monsters at bay, so I'll hold it close to my chest. While you swing your cutlass, I'll make sound effects. I'll make the tent, you hold Marjorie's hand. You load the catapult and I'll be the band. You play guitar and I'll sing in the sun. Just don't drop the pear on yourself. Please don't drop the pear on yourself. Please don't drop the pear on yourself.
When I'm in New Zealand, I feel like I'm really in nature running, and I feel like I'm there alone, and I think that's quite special to have.
I'm Vajin Armstrong. I'm from Christchurch, New Zealand. I was born and raised here, and I've lived here my whole life. Christchurch suffered a series of major earthquakes in 2010 and 2011. In the central city, out of 1,200 major buildings, I think 800 or 900 had to be demolished. So there's very little left of what I know and what I remember as Christchurch. It's a very interesting time at the moment. There's a lot of construction going on. It's really the rebirth of a new city. So this here is my world music store. We opened just over 7 years ago, and we originally were right in the central city. Unfortunately, that store was destroyed, but we have risen again like a phoenix here, and this is our current location. The biggest earthquake we had, which was February 22nd, 2011, that earthquake caused the most significant damage. That earthquake caused the death and most of the losses that we suffered in the earthquakes. And for me, I was working in my music store right in the central city, and people had always joked to me that, oh, it'd be cool to hear the noises in your shop when an earthquake happens, because everything in here makes a sound. And so I was actually in there when that happened, and it was, I mean, it's one of those experiences that you really have to live through to understand what it was like and to experience it. And I mean, our shop was really badly damaged. You know, I was in there, everything started shaking, instruments were falling everywhere. And when I came out of the shop, it was really like a scene from a war zone. There were buildings collapsed around me. There were, you know, people had lost their lives in that same block that I was working on. So it's one of those experiences, though, that changes the way you approach life and the way you value things. You really see and feel that all of those material possessions, at the end of the day, they're not really worth much. What's worth something is, you know, your experiences of life, your health, your family, your friends, and those more human values.
It was great to be able to meet up with Vajin in his hometown of Christchurch. I've raced with him internationally, and to actually come out here and get a jog around his town was cool, and see the unique climate and atmosphere of a fairly large city that has been really beat down by earthquakes. That was something interesting and spectacular all at once, and to kind of do a city run, which is something we haven't done on this trip, was something neat and different for us.
I've never seen such a big metropolitan city that's been so affected by any sort of natural disaster. So just to see 200-300-year-old buildings just in rubble, and then the city though coming together and rebuilding amidst the rubble with new buildings going up was quite a dichotomy. But it was just cool to see that the human spirit just perseveres and keeps on building and keeps on growing.
The Milford track was really attractive to us because it's one of New Zealand's great walks, and it's a point-to-point great walk, and on both sides you have to take a boat ferry. So it's just kind of a unique, isolated, cool kind of place to go and run. And it's fairly long. It's 53, 54K. And it's considered one of the better hikes or tracks in the entire world. So it's got quite a reputation.
So trail running for me is all about freedom, being able to get out there and cover some beautiful terrain under your own power. It's about creativity and expression. When you're out there, you're the author of your own adventures. You can go anywhere you want to. You can find and explore places that you couldn't get to otherwise. And for me, I love the journey of self-transcendence, seeing what's possible, seeing what I can do, seeing how far or how fast I can run.
Running is running for me, and it's kind of like when you go and read a book, you're reading a book. Running is my time to run. I don't think about things, I don't listen to music, I don't have anything else on the agenda, I just go to run. In 2004 is when I really saw it and fell in love with it. And since then I won't ever be able to take it out of my heart. You know, it's something that I do from my heart. It's not what I just do to look like a fit runner, or I don't just do it because I want to compete, I do it because I love doing it. The other things are just a byproduct of what I do from my heart, and so I'll never be able to get rid of that. Of course, I'm going to do it at a different level, or I'm going to not travel as much, or I'm not going to race in high competitive races. But I'll certainly always have running in my life, for sure, or walking up in the mountains. You know, for me, walking is just as energizing as being out there running.
Trail running it's more than just running. It kind of combines that ability to go out, exercise, and get the heart beating with kind of that need to go out and explore nature. And to combine those together just makes for an awesome experience. It's good, it's healthy for your body, and it's good to get out there and see nature and just get involved in the environment and travel through it in a kind of effortless manner. So it's just pure, and it's something I really enjoy to do just about every day. We are outside of Queenstown, New Zealand, and we just did the shot over canyon swing, which Jason and I did together, tandem.
screaming like little schoolgirls the whole way down.
My
So,
throat hurts from screaming.
yeah.
And now we're flying.
Queenstown itself is just kind of crazy. It's like this, I don't know, it's like this town that shouldn't really work, you know, because it's like under the hill, it's not in the sun, but it's so dramatic and it is really beautiful. I'd love to live in Queenstown and have Ben Lomond at my doorstep, you know, that'd be epic. You know, it's one of the coolest peaks around, you know, that's in a town, for sure. As far as a peak in a town, it's probably like as good as it gets in New Zealand.
That's it. I don't know if I'm in it, but it's all right.
Make a few ones that like, you know.
Last night after our night of dancing at Queenstown, hitting the nightlife at about 1 a.m. we hit the Ferg Burger, which usually has a line around the block. It was a little bit shorter at that hour, but
Yeah, I'm a fan of In-N-Out, but the Ferg Burger was twice as big. It was special sauces on top that just made it really scrumptious and some nice fresh greens on there. And of course, anything at about 2 a.m. after you leave the bar, it tastes really darn good anyway. So yeah, it was a hit.
the Big Al, I got the biggest hamburger available, and it is the double patty with special sauce. The Big Al has lashings of bacon, as they call them. It had two patties, beets, eggs, special sauce, spices, lettuce, tomato. It literally was maybe 3,000 calories, and I absolutely ate every bite of it. It was awesome. But yeah, that was our biggest meal yet. We've kind of been starving ourselves.
So trail running in New Zealand is fantastic in that you've got so much variety, and wherever you are in New Zealand you're really close to a nice run. Whether it's in the forest, it's at the beach, it's in the mountains, you can always find something within an hour or half an hour of driving.
Smoking a number and sipping on coffee.
For me, it's really, when I'm in New Zealand, I feel like I'm really in nature running, and I feel like I'm there alone, and I think that's quite special to have.
You are a little let down by the world. I tend to sleep with my back to you, baby.
New Zealand just offered the ability for us to come here, hop in a camper van in a couple weeks, tour around and just run in forests and in fjords and mountains and beaches. and just high plains and deserty area. So just the variety and the ability to have that ability just to go from place to place quickly was really appealing to us.
Sorry to put it in song, but you know me. I am impatient of
You've got that amazing variety, and also I think the New Zealand people and the culture here really supports people getting out and exploring and having adventures. And people are just nice here. There's a real genuine friendliness and kindness that I think is quite unique to New Zealand. And when people come from some of the other more developed places in the world, people really appreciate that old-fashioned kindness and real friendliness.
The camper van is great. It's totally a self-contained unit, so we can just pull over any side of the road or any pull off along the way and just literally park for the night, and we can just crawl in the back here and hop into bed and then wake up in the morning and we're ready to rock and roll. We have our kitchen right here, so we've been able to cook dinners and lunches. Just really self-contained, makes things really efficient to get in and get out, and that's kind of how this trip has been, is go, go, go.
Wolf and I are great friends because we share common interests. I think we're lifelong friends because we match each other well, balance each other in a lot of different ways that a really strong, good relationship has. You know, he complements oftentimes my weaknesses and vice versa, and we work well with each other. We're able to tolerate each other's uniqueness or styles, and that's something I think that's kind of continued our friendship past, you know, university, running together, more so than some of the other guys that we ran with that we see every once in a while. Our friendship's a little bit stronger than that.
Here we are at Fox Glacier, one of the few places in the world where you have a glacier running down into a temperate rainforest.
Yeah, Jason and I, we both just have a common desire to go explore the world and see new places and challenge ourselves to go push our bodies to our limits. So I think it's hard to find somebody who has that same ability and that same desire. And then we just have the history and the trust that we can do that together as well. And we both have careers and families that allow us to get out and go take 2 weeks at a time to go explore the world and run on amazing trails. Our last stop of the trip took us north to the isolated beaches of Farariki. Its dramatic, remote, and pristine coastline won over our hearts and cemented it as one of the most spectacular places we've ever run.
You rose like ashes from the fire that I made. And as the sound by you slowly blew away, my trinket, my chain, my shelter in the rain, my darling, my sweet, my gently incomplete. My bitter and all my lips and all my taste is red. And I am sad and dry, but still I am unfair. I ate the funeral, reduced myself to bones. My lover met me there, he sleeps against the stones. My distance, my strain, my shadow through the rain, my doctor, my fear, my far too free to care. Love is on my lips and all I taste is red. And I am sad and dry, but still I am unfair. I lay you down to rest, a pillow for your head, and I will cry for you and lay you in your bed. And if your ground is deep, and if you feel alone, there is no need to weep. I sing it from my own. My treasure, my grief, my moan, all believe, my lonesome, my doubt, my bitter, without.
For a small island country, New Zealand's diversity in landscapes is unparalleled. It is a trail runner's paradise of uncrowded beaches, rainforests, grasslands, fjords, glaciers, and mountains. So bring a friend and come explore it for yourself. We'll see you again next year from afar.